And God bless. I want to give honor to God. I'm reading from Isaiah 29, verses 1 through 16. Woe to you, Israel. Woe to you, Ariel. Ariel, the city where David settled, add year to year, and let your cycle of festival go on. Yet I will besiege Israel. I will besiege Ariel. She will mourn and lament. She will be to me like an altar hearth. I will encamp against you on all sides. I will encircle you with towers and set up my siege works against you. Brought low, you will speak from the ground. Your speech will mumble out of the dust. Your voice will come like ghost like from the earth. Out of the dust, your speech will whisper. But your many enemies will become like fine dust, the ruthless hordes like blown chaff. Suddenly, in an instant, the Lord Almighty will come in thunder and earthquake and great noise, with windstorm and tempest flames of a devouring fire. The hordes of all the nation, the fight against Ariel, the attack that attack her in her fortress and besiege her, will be as it is with a dream, with a vision in the night, as when a hungry person dreams of eating but awakes hungry still, as when a thirsty person dreams of drinking but awakes faint and thirsty still. So will it be with the hordes of all the nations that fight against Mount Zion. Be stunned and amazed, blind yourself and be sightless. Be drunk, but not from wine. Stagger, but not from beer. The Lord has brought over you a deep sleep. He has sealed your eyes, the prophets. He has covered your head, the seer. For you, this whole vision is nothing but words sealed in a scroll. And if you give the scroll to someone who can read and say, "Read this, please," they will answer, "I can't. It is sealed." Or if you give the scroll to someone who cannot read and say, "Read this, please," they will answer, "I don't know how to read." So in this, it talks about Ariel. Ariel is the name of Jerusalem, okay? It's called David's city. It means Lion of God, okay? So Ariel meant a name for Jerusalem, the Holy Land, okay? It was David's city to proclaim, okay? It was David's city to take out of captivity, okay? It was David's city. It means Lion of God, all right? So it was a place of an altar at the temple, okay? There would be great sorrow because the temple altars were no longer being used to worship. And this is what the Lord has been speaking about in many of messages that I have been presenting. Okay, it's more like the temples have lost what true worshiping is, which is from the Lord, you know. It means bringing in soul. It means helping the needy. It means, showing people what true love, the true love of the Lord is, that's what the true meaning of holiness is, okay? And this is what the Lord is talking about when he said that there would be great sorrow because the temple altars were no longer being used to worship. If you look back in the day, and I'm gonna say the old school churches, you know what I'm saying, where women used to wear long dresses and they had head coverings over their head, um you know and it was because it was the glory of the Lord in the church, okay? They weren't going to be seen. They were not trying to be seen, okay? because it was the glory of the Lord dwelling in them, okay? But now the temple churches, they're acting more like unbelievers, okay? And in these temples, the glory of the Lord has been diminished. So the Lord is trying to get the glory back in the temples because he wants the glory back of his people to worship. True worship means crying out to the Lord. It means tarrying, testimony services. You know, it means giving thanks to the Lord for what he has done. Some people have made a mockery out of the Lord, and, you know, you see pastors ridiculing other pastors, you know, and this is, you know, you see, you know, quarreling among churches. And the Lord is saying the glory of the Lord has been diminished out of his temple, because the temple is supposed to be where worshiping is. How can you bring in souls if you're quarreling? Who cannot read and say, read this, please? They will answer, don't know how to read, the Lord says. These people came near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship of me is based on merely human rules they have been taught. Therefore, once more, I will astound these people with wonders upon wonders. The wisdom of the wise will perish. The intelligence of the intelligent will vanish. Woe to those who get to great depths to hide their plans from the Lord, who do their work in darkness and think, who sees us? Who will know? You turn things upside down as if the potter were thought to be like the clay. Shall what is formed say to the one who formed it, you did not make me? Can the pot say to the potter, you know nothing? So in this, the people claimed to be close to God, but they were so disobedient. They claimed to read God's scriptures. They claimed to be close to the Lord, but they were disobedient. They were merely going through the motions. Therefore, God would bring judgment upon them. Religious had become lip service instead of real devotion from the heart. Okay. Condemnation of Israel's hypocrisy when he spoke to the Pharisee, the religious leaders of his day. And everything that we do, we have to bring the glory back into the temples of the Lord, okay? I know a lot of people want to be seen. A lot of people want to, you know, become rich. But are you doing it for the glory of the Lord, or are you doing it for yourself? You know, because I have to go in prayer and I have to be like, Lord, whatever you lead me to do, go ahead and lead me to do for your people. But don't let me do it for self, but you work through me to let me know what you want me to bring forth, to bring to your people. Because as leaders, you're flocking a lot of sheep. And when you flock them the wrong way, you have a price to pay with God. Because see, these same sheeps, he created. And when he sends people in leadership and they're sending flocks astray, there's a high price to pay for the shepherds. The shepherds are the leaders. And when shepherds are leading God's sheep astray, there's a price to be paid. And it's higher than any soul. It's higher than any prophet. It's higher than any reward. It's higher than any unbeliever. Because, see, you were sent. You were anointed. He gave you a job to do, a task to complete. And when you lead his sheep to the pastures of Satan, you have a price over your head. Not with me, with God. I'm going to tell some people again, God watches. But the Lord does the judgment. See, in every Bible reading, you never saw God doing a judgment. You only saw when he turned his face from the people. Then he sent his son to do the judgment. What you think the Lord does not see, he sees. What you think God don't see, God see. And this is why there is judgment right now on the leaders. And this is why there's judgment on the people. But the only thing about it is, God thought that it was just the people that was corrupt. But when he looked further, it was his own anointed leaders that was sending all of his people, all of his sheep that he created on earth to hell. Some people need to get their house in order. Some people need to get in the presence of God. Because whenever you send a sheep of flocks that God created into the hands of Satan, you have a price to pay. My subject is Woe to David City. God bless.